Today we're talking about demand letters and what they are, what that process is, what the timeline's like, and what you can kind of expect. And so I'm making this video primarily for current clients of ours that have reached this stage of litigation where you are sending a demand letter and just kind of telling you what you can expect. But if you are a new client or potential client, other videos may be more helpful for you than this one, but feel free to keep watching. So the demand letter is basically a position statement where we outline all of your claims, all of your injuries, all the treatment you've received, the full picture of your damages, and then we offer some sort of settlement. Usually that's a financial number, like just a dollar figure. In some cases, it can be a little bit trickier than that. Maybe there's a non-economic component, some sort of policy change or injunctive relief that we're after. But for the most part, in civil lawsuits, the thing that you can get is money. So we're coming up with a way to say, pay us this much money, and here's all the supporting documentation and reasons why you should pay that amount of money. So the first question might be, to whom do you send this letter? And almost always it's going to be an insurance adjuster of some kind, whether that's car insurance, trucking insurance, whether it's a liability insurance for some business or whatever it is. Sometimes we send the demand letter directly to a lawyer if there's already a lawyer assigned, or if you're dealing, for example, if it's a medical case, we often deal with risk management in a hospital system, for example, and so they'll handle claims in-house that way. So it can kind of depend on the kind of claim you've got, but for the most part, it's going to be an insurance adjuster. So the demand will include all of the medical treatment you've received, all of the injuries you've sustained, all of the wages you've lost, and any other sort of important information that might help add value to your claim. And the insurance company gets that, or the defense gets that, and they evaluate it. So that kind of gets into the next question, which is, how long does this take? I would say anywhere from 2 weeks to a month is usually when you will get some sort of substantive response, whether that's a counteroffer or a denial of liability, or it's, hey, we need more time, we're looking into XYZ issue. So anywhere from 2 weeks to a month, I would say. And that sort of begins the process of negotiation and countering back and forth. Usually you'll get some sort of offer that is much lower than where we started as plaintiffs, saying we'll settle for X. That number is going to be our highest possible number, and we know we're not going to get that kind of settlement straight away. We're going to have to do some negotiating. So that process of going back and forth, that is what this demand letter process kind of sets in motion. Just a sort of side note on sending demand letters, a lot of the work that we do in the pre-suit investigation is just getting ourselves in a position to be able to send a demand letter. So often that means, waiting for your treatment, completing all the medical treatment, or getting all these records, or getting a full picture of everything on hand that we can then send to the other side. So getting all of our ducks in a row, so to speak, is a lot of the work that we'll do. And hopefully that means you're kind of over the mountain on your lawsuit, that we're ready to send a demand, and we're getting towards the end here, because the next process is just going to be negotiation. And by that time, if you're one of our clients, we should have had some sort of conversation about, well, here's what all this totals up to. Here's what we think, the coverage is. Here's what we think we can get right now. Should you take it? We'll have that conversation. But, the hard part is just getting in a position to send the demand letter at all. So after we've got the demand letter sent, we get a substantive response, we go through a few rounds of negotiation, and we basically land eventually at their best and final offer. And then the question is, do we take that offer, or do we proceed to court? I've been kind of posturing in this video that this is all sort of pre-suit demands, but you do send demand letters in litigation that's already been, filed. Midway through, they might say, okay, well, send us a demand. And, it's the same thing, really, though. It's sending a demand, an offer of settlement, where the posture isn't, if you don't settle, we'll sue you. The posture is, if you don't settle, we'll just continue the case through discovery to trial and roll the dice and see what happens. So you can kind of have demand letters at different phases of the lawsuit. But it's fundamentally the same thing. It's outlining the full case, theories of liability, damages, all of that, and saying this is what we'll settle for, this is what we're asking you to pay. And if they don't, then the case just continues on to trial. So I hope this video has been helpful in explaining what the demand letter process is, what it looks like, general time frame for what you can expect. These are high level points. Every case is different, so do keep that in mind, but this should at least give you some understanding of what sending a demand letter means. Thanks for watching.